Here with reaction, Florida Senator Marco Rubio. Senator, can you answer the question? Is our border secure? Have we been lied to for 3 straight years?
Our border is not just unsecure. It's a migratory crisis of epic proportions, but without precedent in American history. This has never happened before in the history of this country. First of all, the administration is lying. They know for a fact that trafficking networks that have links to terrorist groups are involved in the trafficking of people. Now, it's a business that they have, and they move people around the world, and they get them in there. But you tell me that an Islamist-linked network that moves people that are willing to pay the money isn't also willing to move terrorists? Or think about it this way. Last year, over 900,000 people in a 12-month period entered the United States illegally and were released into the country by the Biden administration. 900,000 people. If just 0.1% of those people are terrorists, that is 900 terrorists that have crossed the borders. And those are the ones that we actually saw come in and processed and released into the country. This border is wide open, and everybody in the world knows it, and that's why they keep coming. And look, it's anger. You know, it angers any country to see people from other places showing up at your border, demanding to be let in, having people in this country argue that somehow they have a right to come in, and not just have a right to come in, but we have an obligation to now provide billions of dollars, which is what they're asking for, okay? And this whole deal that they're asking for in a supplemental, they're not asking for money to enforce the law. They are asking for more money to do what they are doing now, in essence, waving people in faster. That's what they're asking for. But it is an unsecure border across which anybody from anywhere in the world can come. And listen, maybe some of those people when they get here have Islamic sympathies, Islamist sympathies, and they're not necessarily terrorists or don't consider themselves that way. But then they come here, they see the headlines, they hear the call to action, they get fired up, just like people that are born in this country that are out there now supporting Hamas. Imagine people that already come with that preconceived idea about it, being inspired to a lone wolf attack, which is the #1 threat. And then the other threat, Sean, and I'm sorry to filibuster or be so fired up about it, but it's a big deal, is we know for a fact, in fact, the FBI director said it today, that Iran has tried to conduct operations inside this country. And we know for a fact that Hezbollah has invested in the same capability, the ability to attack Americans here in the homeland for assassination, for mass casualties, as a point of leverage against us. Just like these attacks by proxies in the Middle East is a weapon they have, they know that conducting attacks in the United States is another weapon they can threaten us with if they think we're going to do something to them. This is a serious crisis.
How is it possible when Mayorkas has asked a simple question after he's been telling us the border is closed and secure, which he's been lying about, and he's asked a simple question about how many people, he can't answer that question, or John Kirby can't answer the question, I can't possibly know among the 8 million illegal immigrants we've allowed in whether people have radical associations. Well, didn't they swear an oath to uphold the rule of law and our Constitution? Does Joe Biden somehow have a magical right to enforce only the laws he agrees with? Isn't there a process? If you don't like the law, you go through the process of changing the law?
They're playing a word game with us. The first thing they're saying is the law is being complied with. What they're arguing is that we have asylum law. Someone crosses, they claim asylum. They claim the law says we have to let them in, we have to let them stay until they get a court hearing that many don't show up for. So they're arguing they're following the law. What they're not telling you is that's how they interpret the law. And how that law is being interpreted by migrants is, look, all we have to do is get into the U.S., say the magic words, we're going to be released, and we're going to be sent to any city we want to, and they're going to pay for it. And that's what's driving this incentive for people to come, and everybody in the world knows it. And the other lie they keep saying is we have a broken legal immigration system. The main thing that's broken about our legal immigration system is that it is cheaper and faster and easier to come illegally than it is to come legally. Imagine if you're someone out there that's been waiting for 10 years because you applied for a visa and you're waiting, but somebody you know came here illegally and is now maybe even on the verge of getting residency because they have some political backing in the country to grant them a path to citizenship. Imagine what a sucker you feel like. That's the thing that's broken about our immigration system, was we are incentivizing people to come illegally, and we are refusing. This administration refuses to enforce the law, and that's why no matter how people feel about Ukraine, people come to us and say, but how can we deal with that without securing our border first? How can that not be a priority before anything else that we do? And they have poisoned the well on an important policy matter because people look at that and say, how can we deal with that until we deal with this right here at home?